Hey, y'all. This is your girl, Erica, from the Dope Discussions with Erica podcast. Before we get into today's show, I just want to ask you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you can meet us back here every Sunday at 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for all of our dope discussions. You don't want to miss them, do you? So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so you can meet us here and maybe even beat us here.
Dope Discussions Podcast. Dope Discussions, Gay to Erica, woke discussions. Mob ties, how they rock and think they both was cousins. Gifting you with their words so you might know you something. Just go and look for them live, they do it every Sunday. Every Sunday.
And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. It's Gator Beater, baby. Make state to state, baby, coast to coast. Like the vibe, baby, spark the jokes. And we gon' bring you that dope. Come talk with Erica, man, talk with G. And all you gotta do is talk with me. And we gon' bring you that dope. 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 Yo.
That intro just get me going.
Right. Look. I'll just sit there and be like, yeah, I'll be ready. As soon as I hear it out, like, okay. Like it's like that WWE theme, you know, when they play you out, you be ready to come out and do your thing. Yeah, that's what it's like right there.
Yes, looking back at, some of our past episodes and some of the fun we already had. It just makes me understand why we do what we do and why we keep showing up every Sunday to have these dope discussions.
Right. And the most important part of that is you guys out there in the virtual congregation. All of y'all supporting, all y'all love, and y'all being here every Sunday. That just keeps us going. That keeps us motivated. You know, we be out here calling the crowd, wanting to hear y'all.
There's our brother from the Relationship Gumbo podcast. Hey, Derek.
Derek, what's going on? Welcome, Deacon Derek.
Well, yes. How are you, Gator? Gator has just moved to his new location, and he is happy to be there.
Yes, I am definitely happy to be here. I am very happy. You know, I mean, it's gonna take some hospitality and housekeeping and all that kind of stuff, but it's pretty cool. I was just telling Erica that right here it looks great, but if you look from my perspective, I got boxes everywhere and all that kind of stuff. But hey, you know what? It's gonna be done soon. It's gonna be organized, and hey, I'm looking forward to it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Good. I'm glad. Hey, John. John is out there in the virtual congregation. John Singletary. Thank you for joining us.
What's going
Nakisa
on?
said, where did he move? You just moved to the other side of town, huh?
Yeah, I moved from Sandy Springs, Georgia, which is like the north suburb of Atlanta, down to the dirty south. I'm in College Park. I'm down here in College Park now. You know?
All right.
I can't talk like these folks. I mean, hell, if you listen real close, you can hear the gunshots.
Yes. Oh, really? You in the hood?
Yeah, I ain't really in the hood, but I am right by the airport. Like if you listen close, you probably will hear airplanes flying all over, but hopefully my sound quality is a little bit better in this place.
It's a lot better.
Hey, it ain't like I ain't got shot at during the show before.
You grew up in East Baton Rouge, so you know about the hood.
Right. It's look, over there by East Brookstown, Bird Station. Over there by
Yes.
Third World. Look, hey. Anytime you have a neighborhood named Third World in your hood and another hood named Niggerville, that's look, if you look on a map, it actually says that. Look, hey.
For real.
Yeah, that's when you know it's pretty bad.
Yes. Well, I'm excited about today's topic and today's special guest. You know how sometimes things come full circle. Remember our very first live show, and we had these two people on.
Exactly. Wait. Before we even get into that, I see Erica's over there in the beautiful banks of Santorini over there in Greece. I'm over here in these hard colored bricks over here. She over there in the nice, lush, palatial.
Yes, I had to change up my scenery.
Right.
Yes, but these special guests that we're going to have on today, they were on our very first live show when we went live on Facebook. And that is Javon Martin and Nakisa Green from the Relationship Hotspot. And we had a great time having them as our very first guest. And I want to kind of go back and flash back to that very first episode because Javon, he made us a little smash up, little, remember he made us a little smash up memory of that first show. So I want to give everybody a sample of that first show, our very first live episode.
All right, let's rock.
What's up, Facebook? What's up, viewers? We're coming to y'all live today, first time ever. Dope Discussions go live.
We are live in the building. Yep. Hey, first, before I say anything else, let me say, look, everybody, I apologize for looking so ruggedly handsome today. I'm gonna get this thing clipped up and out of control. I'm trying to contribute to the whole quarantine feel, like that Tom Hanks Castaway type feel. Like, oh look, I'm on an island by myself. Lord, I need assistance. I need a barber. Please come get me. But,
well, viewers, I want y'all to get a good introduction of our special guests. We're welcoming them to the Dope Discussion space. We got Miss Nakisa Green there, and we got Javon, and they are from the Relationship Hotspot. The funny thing about me and Gator is that we've never laid eyes on each other in person. Yes, we met over, what was it, Facebook?
Yeah, it was Facebook. I mean, we from the same city, same time.
Wow.
I live in Louisiana. He lives in Georgia.
You ain't telling me nothing that's gonna get in the way of this. That's all I'm saying.
That's my boy right there. That's my brother.
Yeah. Let Nakisa and I help y'all out. What's been the issue? What's going on?
He know a little too much about my stuff, and I know too much about his stuff. So it ain't gonna work.
So we be like, I'll help you out this. Don't worry about it.
Gator something like Drake. He like them bad girls.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't say bad. But I do need to reset my parameters as far as
At this point in my life, now that I'm dating, it's very hard to find a partner who's also in alignment with waiting to have sex until marriage.
I mean, a lot of times men really just don't want to wait because, they all their life they've been told being a virgin is wrong. Wait till marriage is, something that they shouldn't do, They want to test the waters, it's a machismo thing. So you meet a girl that's like, hey, oh, you're not giving it up. Let me think about this. And next thing
Oh, you was trying to break it down to give me the soliloquy about why nobody don't want to bed. I don't want to hear all that. Yes.
Even at the time, I was just kind of break it down a little bit as to why some men don't do it like that.
So without further ado, let's bring out our special guest. Nakisa, beautiful Nakisa, how you doing?
Hi. Hey y'all, hey.
Nakisa, what's going on?
Welcome back. Well,
Thank
we
you.
saw Javon backstage. He been popping in and out. He looks like he's moving and shaking, so he'll pop back in once we get started, I guess. I saw him backstage and then he popped off a couple of times. Yes, but I am so glad to have y'all back. How have y'all been doing since we were together last time?
We have been doing great. I did not realize that was the first time you guys went live. Like when I say it felt like y'all had been going live for a long time, had a show for a long time. So I'm thinking when he told me to come like be a guest on the show, I'm thinking like they didn't establish this for a long time. They know what they're doing. They got everything going. I would never have guessed that was y'all first time going live.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Thank you so
now
much.
seeing y'all got y'all fancy backgrounds and stuff, and y'all being consistent on YouTube. I love it. I really love it.
Thank you so much.
We definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. Looking back on it, that whole scene reminded me of good times. I was all like Shaggy, Erica had the brown hair. We was thugging it.
We was thugging it in the living room.
For real.
Look at Javon over there. What's that look you giving us, Javon?
This look, let me tell you what this look is about. First of all, I haven't seen Nakisa since she got like $40 for a t-shirt from me. So it's good to see you, Nakisa. And then
here he coming in being messy.
I get to see Erica and Gator for the first time since they went big time. So, like, this is a big deal for me. This is a huge show. What y'all don't understand, let me break it down for you real quick, because I like to come on as a guest and take over people's show.
I know.
I'll go ahead and do it now.
Yeah.
Y'all are a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And
don't pump our head up now. Don't pump our head up.
Whenever I get the notification that there's a new Dope Discussions with Erica (Gator) in my Apple feed, that's a big deal. I believe that one day Gator gonna make his name onto the intro of the show. It's gonna be a Dope Discussions with Erica and Gator, and I'm trying to start mess now because
that's coming. That's coming.
Because apparently men hate women and women hate men. So I can't wait to get to the discussion. But can I say, because Nakisa does the proppers for our show, and she's the one that's like the person that has the moral high ground, and she does everything the way it's supposed to be. Let me do this one time for the real, because I mean this sincerely from my heart. Erica and Gator, y'all don't have to let me and Nakisa come on y'all show. I've been on the show 3 times. I know people that are more qualified that's only been on here once. And I appreciate, and y'all heard the Corona split of the appreciate the fact that y'all let me come on here more than Nakisa, but more also than other people. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have been on my show as well. Nakisa, y'all ain't been on her show yet because she don't let people be guests on her show.
But it's so messy, man.
And I appreciate the fact that not only did you come on the Javon show and you came on the Relationship Hotspot, but you declined to go on the Nakisa Green show, and that makes me feel good. Thank y'all for doing that.
I don't have a Nakisa Green show. Thank you very much. But I do have a podcast that I'm going to be doing new episodes on. Thank you very much, Javon. Thanks.
He's so shady, man.
Shade.
Yes. Look, I told y'all the story when I first connected with Javon. I thought he was like a real churchy, God-fearing type of guy. And I was like, Gator, when we bring him on the show, we're going to have to.
Yeah, she said, be on your best behavior.
We're going to have to be on our best behavior. We ain't going to be doing no cussing, none of that. We're going to be good because he from the church.
Right.
The boy got on the show. I was like, wait a minute, who this is? This ain't who I thought it was.
Look, I had prepared for that one. I had been listening to Marvin Cease all day. I had got to a point where I was just sitting there. I said, okay, no words today. No words today. Because I was cussing a good bit back then. I even backed away from the tequila a little bit. I said, no, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do. Shoot. I got on there. I was like, I told Erica right after the show, wait a minute. Them the same people we were supposed to.
Yeah, right to sure the church of what? I don't know what the church is, but it ain't the church that I grew up in.
That's sad.
We bring balance. We're both saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. Nikisa just a little bit more saved than me. That's the only difference. Like she holds the bloodstained banner, and I just bring in the rear to bring balance to the show. You see.
Yeah, see, and our first episode, we were going to talk about abstaining from sex till marriage. So I thought Javon was going to come in and bring, the Bible verses and the scriptures.
Right.
I thought he was going to validate me and back me up. He was like, ain't nobody waiting.
I believe you should come as much as you can before you leave this earth. But that's a whole different subject.
That's a whole different subject.
Right. He is cutting up. Javon, you know.
I do.
Nikisa will keep you in line.
Are you saying that because you're in a relationship now, or?
Oh.
It's a question. I'm just asking.
Hey, we waiting on the answer. You speechless?
Oh, Nikisa. Oh, Nikisa.
Oh, Lord.
That's what we doing, Nikisa.
I was asking a question. I didn't confirm anything. I was asking a question. Are you in a relationship now? And that's why you acting like that.
He couldn't answer though.
Erica Gator, give me and Nikisa just one quick minute if you don't mind.
No, we all in this
we
together.
Doing this?
We doing this.
Are we doing this, Nikisa?
I was just asking.
Nikisa, are we doing this?
I'm asking the question.
Where's the answer?
You already know I have no answers when it comes to relationship status or any of that, so don't even come this way.
I cannot wait until we get off this phone call so that I can call Nikisa directly to have a conversation. Gator, next question.
Wait a minute. Okay. So we're not gonna talk about Javon relationship status, I guess.
Ooh.
This might fit in with your relationship status though.
So, I can't wait till we get to our next podcast.
Because,
boy, I didn't know that's what we was doing, Nikisa. I'm glad that I know that.
She just asked a question.
Yeah, I got your answer, Nikisa.
Well, you can't answer right here.
You know what? And I just so happen to be free on Tuesday. Relationship hot spot podcast on Tuesday.
Yeah, you forgot all about the hot spot. You forgot about the
hot spot podcast on Tuesday at 7 p.m. live. Make sure y'all tune in. We're going there.
Okay, we tuning in too.
Look, he got the ammunition ready. Look,
I can't believe listen,
so
Erica and Gator, she's showing out today.
That is so petty. See, that's the difference. That's the difference between men and women.
Oh, let's get into it. Let's
go.
Right.
Yes. So we brought y'all here. We're going to talk about this thing. We're going to talk about why are black men and black women so angry at each other right now.
Because petty. That's the answer. Next question.
We need a little bit more. So what do y'all think? Have y'all been observing the hatred on social media between black men and black women?
Yeah, I think for me, what I've seen is unfortunately misteachings to black women, misteachings to black men, and because of those misteachings, we don't know everybody doesn't know how to navigate with one another in a respectable manner. And now we see, things where it's black women are emasculating black men, and black men don't have the respect for the black women that was once the biggest weapon that we had against everything that goes on in this world. So because of that, we're now trying to, for the people that really want to be able to communicate with Black men and have good relationships with Black men, we're now trying to unpack all of those misteachings that we've been taught and that we've heard and said about one another. Because for me as a Black woman, I would never emasculate another man, or a man rather, other I was gonna say other than Javon, but I'm just joking at me. Because I really believe in uplifting Black men, especially. I know all men, people say all men go through everything. I agree, but Black men go through a little bit more, because when they go outside that door, they're having to deal with people judging them based off the skin of the tone of their skin, and also how big they are, how tall they are, how small they are, and all those different things that other cultures judge Black men on. So when it comes to me personally, like, that's something that I try to make sure I keep in the front of my mind when I'm dealing with Black men, because they do go through so much. And that's not to say that Black women don't go through too much, because we go through a lot as well. But we have to find balance on how to support each other better, because this whole Black women versus Black men, that's not cool. And it's not even, we're not gonna be successful in life. And I'm not talking about money successful. I mean successful as far as purpose and fulfillment and destiny, if we're all against each other. Black men and Black women are against each other.
Exactly. I totally agree. I've heard several times different people make this statement that Black men are the white men of the Black community. Wow. Meaning that in the hierarchy of the Black community, Black men hold the most power, but they abuse their power when it comes to Black women. So do y'all agree or disagree with that statement?
I agree that there are Black men that abuse the power, but I believe that the reason why they abuse the power is because of their experience with Black women that have been mistaught and don't know how to communicate well with a Black man, and don't know how to express their feelings well with a Black man. And so that causes them to abuse their power. So it's always cause and effect. I don't feel like the Black men are just out here just, I'm just going to be this way and act this way towards Black men. Like, there's always Black women, there's always an experience that happened or something that they was taught that leads them to act that way and be that way.
I think there has to be a space where, when we talk about our personal experience and what has happened to us and what has hurt us and what has made us feel the way we feel, we have to stop speaking in generalizations. I see a lot of generalizations. I saw a guy making a video the other day about his experience growing up with his single mother and how she was abusive. And he made the statement, "This is why Black men don't like Black women." And I was like, so you're going to blame a whole group of Black women because of your single experience? You need to deal and heal that, because not all Black women, there's millions of Black people who have been raised by single Black mothers who don't feel the same way that you feel about Black women. So you're generalizing, and that's harmful to, and then all you're going to do is cause a counterattack from the Black women who are going to come at you because of what you said. So it's just a back and forth type of thing. So we need to be more responsible when we're talking about our own personal experience and not projecting it on a whole group of people. What you think?
Right.
What you think, Javon?
I think where I come through this is that it's interesting that Gator and I are two Black men that are very respectful of Black women. And I think that to really get a good discussion on this, we have to have somebody that's just blatantly disrespectful to Black women to come on and really give their input as to why they are the way that they are. As a Black man that was raised by a single Black woman and raised with aunties and grandmama and cousins that were women, I have a different appreciation for the Black woman, right? And so, like, while we started the conversation and you and Nikisa were doing you all's back and forth, I noticed that me and Gator were able to, with great respect and confidence, sit back and listen to you all talk. And we didn't feel the need to interject, to disrupt, because we're respectful Black men.
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's respectful Black men that have a problem with respectful Black women. And because we are 4 professional African Americans, it's hard for us to dive into the psyche of an ignorant mofo.
Right.
So because we don't have that perspective on here, it's hard for us to really get into a great, like, I would love to have a conversation with a Black man that hits a Black woman, because I've never hit a Black woman, and I don't believe Gator has ever hit a Black woman.
Mm-mm.
I would love to have a conversation on here with a Black male that tells his woman when she can talk, because I've never dated a woman that I've had the ability to tell her when she can and can't speak, because I don't want that type of woman in my life and on my arm.
Right.
So me and Gator are a different type of Black man, and maybe Gator can give more perspective. I don't know. Maybe Gator has hit a woman. I don't want to speak for me and Gator both together.
Right.
But as a respectful Black man, if I can deal with my ex-wife and Nikisa, then I don't believe that a Black man should ever have a reason to be disrespectful to hit a woman, because I deal with Nikisa and my ex-wife.
I'm sick of you.
Said you don't see me. You don't see me and you don't talk to me. So I don't know if that has something to do with your relationship status, but
He went back there.
Wait a minute. Go.
Oh my God.
you shouldn't have started. You shouldn't have started, Javon. You shouldn't have started.
For the record, listen. This, if we're gonna go there before the Relationship Hotspot podcast goes live, if we're gonna really go there, me and Nikisa have been dating for 3 months. Fine, it's out there. You happy, Nikisa? Are you happy now?
Oh,
Anyway,
wait a minute
Gator, what were
now.
you about to say?
This is about to be a different topic now.
No lies allowed. No lies allowed.
Like, you about
No
to deny
lies
us,
allowed.
Nikisa?
No lies allowed.
Are you denying that we were the Black couple that started off dating, and then you went ghost, and then you came back running because you knew I was a good man? You don't really want to talk about that right now?
Wait, no lies allowed.
Gator, what were you about to say?
No lies allowed. Maybe that's why Black men and Black women are so angry at each other, because Black men do this. So he may not hit a woman. He may not hit a woman, but I feel like lying on a woman is just as damaging as hitting a woman. So you're lying on a woman. You're lying on me. You're lying on my brand. You're lying on what happened between us.
Yo, brand,
hold on,
Negro.
I wasn't trying to go there,
all,
but since you on this show lying,
First of all,
lying, I was trying to
you
spare you.
better
I
hook your
always
hitch.
try to spare you, Javon. I always try to spare you.
You better
You're
hook
my
your
friend.
hitch to the toe that can get you there.
So
I can pull you out the hole, Nikisa.
So everybody knows that watches Relationship Hotspot. I believe Erica knows that when I first met Javon, I met him on a dating app. We went on one date.
Dude.
No, it was the same night. We went to the movies, then we went to Pluckers. That's not two dates. That's not 2 nights.
That's
Can I ask a question? How did we get on me and Nikisa?
No, it's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk.
Oh, don't ask that question. You started
this. Don't let
we went
Black
on
women
one
talk.
date. We have never
conversations, and they try to delegitimize the Black man.
One day.
So what's not going to happen?
One day.
What happened to respectful? What happened to respectful?
Comes on here trying to monopolize the Black man.
What happened to respectful?
Exactly. We didn't even hold hands.
What happened to respectful? Nikisa decided to be disrespectful.
You could have just said you didn't want to talk about your relationship status.
Gator, I believe you're about to say something.
I forgot what I was gonna say, but just to address that whole situation, he was being respectful, and then I must admit, Nikisa, you did take shots.
You stay out of that part. You stay out of that.
No, he brought my name up. He brought my name up. He was like, "Yeah, if I can handle my ex-wife and Nikisa," and it's like, handle. What are you talking about?
Then that's when Gator was talking, and Nikisa just come on in once again. When the black man was talking, we should listen to the black man talk. As you were saying, Gator.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Okay, so Gator, what you got for us?
No, all I was gonna say was that this is part of the issue that we're having with black men and black women. I think what's happening is that people are generalizing everything, right? Just because of someone gets hurt by a black man, all black men are this. Because I get hurt by a black woman, all black women are this. When they get on these platforms like we have, and they decide to start spewing venom or, basically detailing their experiences, once they start doing that, they start making these generalizations about how, all black men are this. Like Javon was saying, he and I are both respectful. We ain't never hit a woman, ain't never did any of those types of things. That's not what we do. But guess what? We're going to get, as black men, lumped into the category with all of those men who do. So when black women see us, they see us as, them black men, and not as an individual. And I think now the thing has gotten so polarized that all you're going to have is that back and forth. You're going to have that one-upmanship that's going to happen consistently. And I think that's where that bridge has to be met. We have to get out of the thought of generalizing all black men, generalizing all black women, and realizing that we got strong black men and we got niggas. We got strong black women and we got thoughts. We have to start focusing on how to choose the right ones instead of throwing everybody out in the bin and saying all of them are this. I guess I got to settle for what I can get.
Right. And another thing is that the accountability factor. I feel like, this is just my opinion, but I feel that women should hold women accountable and men should hold men accountable. When you start crossing the line of men telling women what they should be doing and how they should be conducting themselves as women, it's not going to be received. It's not going to be received in a way that no matter what your intentions are, because the situation is already hot. Like you said, it's already polarized. And so the accountability factor, then there comes another issue where when women do stand up and hold other women accountable, you're a pick-me-sha. You just out here trying to get chosen. You trying to impress these guys. And the same thing with men. When you try to hold men accountable and point out the things that they're doing, you simping. Mm-hmm. You pandering to these women. And so that right there really pisses me off when I see that, because you can't win.
No. I mean, as a man, I've always thought, I was raised by a single mother. My philosophy on dating women is that I would want, I treat women like I would want somebody to treat my mom. Mm-hmm. If they were going out and dating or something, or my sister, if they were going out and dating. So I figure that black woman that I'm dealing with is somebody's mom, somebody's sister. I mean, and more importantly, maybe even my future wife. Why would I want to treat her, like I'm, ignorant, mm-hmm. until at least I feel out,
Mm-hmm. And I see a lot of men who say that they feel a certain way towards women that they know, but women that they don't know, it's like they're not human. I don't know you, so I'm not about to try to respect you, protect you, or anything. I just know the women that I know and love, and I'll I'll go to war for them. But a woman that I see out on the street at the gas station getting harassed by a group of men, oh, that ain't none of my business.
And I think that's just terrible that if there's a black man out there that will let a black woman get demeaned or antagonized or harassed, then that black man needs to check himself, because that's just not something that a black man should do. We should be always protective of our black women. I will say, though, that there is a certain factor that comes into play when it comes to dating and the way that a black man treats a black woman, because I've dated many black women, unfortunately. And I think that it comes down to a black man will treat a black woman the way she allows herself to be treated. And I think that I'm not a perfect black man. As much as I strive for perfection, as much as I've read my Bible and led praise and worships and directed choirs and been to church and had a single mom and a grandmama and the cousins and the aunties, there's still a human nature that comes into play. If I'm just being totally transparent, right? If I'm being totally honest, I think that it's human nature that we as humans are going to try to get away with what we can get away with. And it's not about being disrespectful. It's not about treating someone unfairly. It's just about trying to win. And I want to create the conversation around that, because when you date and you lose, then the next time you date, you want to win. So you make sure that you don't let somebody get over on you, that you don't let somebody take it.
We lost him.
Somebody tried to hijack my boy, man. You're trying to get a good point.
He gonna have to get to a good Wi-Fi spot
location.
Yes.
Right. But I think he's right, though, when he was saying that one-upsmanship is lethal to that relationship between black women and black men. You know, as I mentioned before, that polarization that we have now, it's a competition. Now it's, I'm not going to let him mess over me. So I'm going to treat him cold-heartedly, or, I'm not going to be vulnerable to this woman. So I treat her coldly. I push her away. And all that does is just foster that sense of, like, for black women, y'all feel unprotected. And part of the reason why is because you get the cold shoulder, you get that push off from a lot of black men who are just scared of being hurt. So they tend to just push it off and just push it away, instead of maybe dealing with it and allowing themselves to be vulnerable. Again, because we're in two different tribes, and it shouldn't be like that. I feel like we're one of the only races who literally, the women and the men are two different complete tribes from each other almost. And it's like we're competing for the same spaces. And instead of coming together and trying to work together and build together. And that's unfortunately just sad.
Yeah. Nakisa, what do you think is the starting point of the solution?
I think the starting point of the solution is the black man and the black woman being open to trying to come up with a solution, to wanting to fix the issue or the problem, or to really understand the black man, for the black man to really want to understand the black woman and understand what the issue is. And then from there, both have engaging conversation where they're actually listening to each other and not listening to respond. Because a lot of times when it comes to black men and black women, communication is not the best feature for the ones that are so angry with each other. And you can communicate with somebody, but if that communication is not effective, or the other person is not open to receiving that communication and listening and understanding that communication, then it's really not communication. It's just the other person is just talking, you're talking, and they're not really coming up with a solution. But people that actually really want to understand what the issue is and try to like delve into the issue, they have to open their ear up. And I think these type of conversations help open that conversation up between black men and black women to try to understand one another better. And as a Black woman, obviously, of course, Black men are not going anywhere. Like, I'm never getting rid of Black men. So it's like, I want to understand them better, and I want them to understand me better. And I'm open to listening and hearing from them and hearing their side and being respectful of them, you know. And like Javon was saying, him and Gator are not men that, you know, disrespect women or hit women and things like that. And I can say the same thing for me and Erica. Like, we are respectful women. We're not out here emasculating men or talking bad about Black men either. So, but that doesn't mean that we still don't have maybe a heart or a passion to want to understand how we can bridge that gap that Black women have. And I liked what Gator said about the generalizations, because I was talking about this conversation recently about how people generalize one experience. They have one experience and they generalize the whole species. Like, all females are like this, or all men are like this, just from one experience. And it's like, you can't do that. Like, even when it comes to statistics and facts, you can't go off one study. Like, you have to have multiple studies, and it have to be like the same scenario for you to be like, for you to deem all people are like this way, which would never happen, because we're never all, you know, one way. Like, everybody is different. But I think if people will stop generalizing Black women and people will stop generalizing Black women, that we'll have a better understanding of one another, and that we can start to close that gap that we have. Because, I mean, it needs to be done. It needs to be done. We are so much stronger as a people when we are united. And when it comes to being protected by the Black man, I think that there are some things that women have to do as well to feel protected by Black men. And that's just like opening the door for a man to be able to protect them. And I'm not even talking about relationship wise. I'm talking about friendships, friends, people that you know, strangers. I'm talking about even when you get on an airplane and you have your carry-on, you asking a man, oh, can you put this up here for me? And them doing it without any problem, because they don't have problems with doing stuff for women, which I know that's like another topic when it comes to women sitting in their feminine energy and being a feminine woman. And a man being his masculine self, whereas he feels like, I don't have to jump into your role, you don't have to jump into my role. And I'm not talking about like cleaning and paying bills and those type of gender roles. I mean, as far as women feeling like they have to now step into the man role because the man is not there, and so now we have to do so many things that the man is not doing or can't or is not able to do. And so now we're stepping into a different role. And then the man is looking at us like, well, you want to be a man, or you're trying to do these man things. So let me just step back and let you do it. So I think there's so much under that whole umbrella of Black men and Black women, but I'm here for the conversation.
Yes, that's great. There's got to be a meeting of the minds, a meeting in the middle, understanding, listening, a lot more listening than talking. And I like what you said about the statistics. The statistics get on my nerves, because a lot of people use these statistics as their talking points, and they reduce people to a number when people are not numbers. There are so many variations. There are so many tweaks and nuances to being a person, how you were raised, what's your background, your upbringing, your environment. You know, all of that comes into play, and you can't reduce a person to a number and try to predict how they're going to react in a situation. You have to treat people as individuals. And that's where the missing piece is that we don't want to take out the energy and the effort that it takes to just get to know a person as an individual, because it's easier to lump people in a group, because it just gives you less things to think about. And this day and age, people don't like to think. They want other people to think for them. And okay, if he's saying it, and I like the way he looks, I like the way he sounds, I like the way he dresses, I like his lifestyle, I'm just going to take what he's saying and I'm going to apply that to my life. And that's where a lot of people are messing up.
That's so true.
Right. I see that a lot. I see that a whole lot, and that was the other thing too, is that the whole generalization thing. We also are we have to be weary of toxicity. Like we have to be wary of people who are legitimately spewing nothing but negativity towards black women, nothing but negativity towards black men. Because when they start doing that, you realize that they're not doing anything but speaking to that toxicity that we have within us. They're speaking to that hurt that we have within us. And nothing, just naturally, we want someone to understand our hurt. So when you listen to a lot of these people who are bad mouthing, it's almost like they're bad mouthing the person that hurt you. So you're going to fall into that tribe. You're going to fall into that nonsense, and it means that you won't be able to kind of think independently about an independent person that comes across. Like if you were to meet me, or you were to meet Javon somewhere, we're going to just be put into the category with everybody else. Because of the fact that you are continue to ingest a lot of the toxicity that's out there. One of the main things we have to start doing is literally singling those voices out and dismissing those voices, because we're not going to be able to get anywhere if it's almost like we're marching into war and we've got a whole front line just sitting there waiting on us. And we got to try to pick out the one individual that might be worth something that we can actually fight. We can't do that. It's too many. But if we can disseminate some of the toxicity that we've got and start focusing on individual people, I think we do better. And also make sure that we are accountable for our own choices. If I'm sitting out here, all I'm going to date is girls that's easy, girls that's giving it up easy, girls that's thoughts. Well, guess what? That's exactly what I'm going to get. So I can't be mad if that's the type of woman that I end up with and I'm having these relationship issues. I chose to put, we have to start working on ourselves and trying to be better men, because a lot of us men, we were raised in single parent homes, and we didn't have those examples of what a good man is supposed to be. A lot of women, they were raised in single parent homes by women who had to do it on their own. So they're not really all that accustomed to how to treat a man, how to accept a man, how to be receptive of a man coming into their life. A lot of them don't even know what that looks like. They just know that they're doing this, doing both roles. And all of these things, if you don't address each individual thing with an individual, somebody who's actually, about something and wants to learn and wants to listen, then you're just speaking to a wall. So that's the first thing. It means we're going to have to dismiss a lot of voices, dismiss a lot of people, but it's necessary in order to bridge the gap.
Yeah. Healing.
Yeah.
We need massive healing in the Black community. We need, energy is never destroyed, it's just transferred.
Yeah.
So when you have broken energy, when you're hurt, when you're bitter, when you're miserable, when you're disappointed, most people, the only way they know to get that off of them is to spew it on somebody else. But that's a temporary fix.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes you feel good temporarily, but it doesn't solve the issue. And so many people, it's easier to project outwardly and point fingers and blame than to look at yourself inwardly and see, what is it that's hurting me? What is it that I need to fix within? If everybody would turn that microscope inwardly and work on that, and then just start to really, put that message out there that we need healing. And it's okay to be hurt. It's okay to say what it really is instead of saying, I'm mad, I'm angry, or I hate. It's okay to say, I'm hurt. It hurt me. And I don't know what to do with this pain. So I need to get it off of me and give it to somebody. But it's like a disease. It's like COVID. You spread it, and then it just becomes a pandemic. It's just going on and on and on. Instead of, isolating it where it originated from and curing it right there.
Yeah.
And not trying to give it to everybody else.
Right. Definitely got to try to cure it. Definitely try to stop. And I guess that's the big thing. Stopping it right now. Stop, I mean, the buck stops with us. If I'm sitting here as a man and I'm hating all black women because whatever, then that onus is on me to change my perspective, of all black women. Stop generalizing and start dealing with black women as individuals and not a tribe, not a group of people. Same thing. Black women have to start treating each individual black man as an individual and not, how men is.
Right. We just have to change our language. Our language and develop a new set of skills.
Yeah, I
definitely.
I agree. And earlier, Erica, you talked about accountability. And I was talking to a guy and I was saying, like, do y'all hold each other accountable for some of the things that y'all out here doing?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I have held, my friends accountable before, but now it's like they're going to do what they want to do. So it's like, why even say anything? And I said, you're saying something because it should continue to bother you that they're doing something that is against something that you believe in, or is something that's dishonest. And it's like, you don't see how that may rub off on you. And even if you are strong enough to let it not rub off of you, the fact that they continue to do that and then they're trying to bring you into it, it's like, at what point? At what point? Because I was saying, I'm like as women, like we hold each other accountable. Like if one of my friends tell me like, yeah, I met this married guy and this and that. Off the bat, I'm not like, oh yeah, girl, gone. No, off the bat, I'm like, girl, no, he is off limits. He is married. He said vows to the woman, this and that or whatever. And I'm holding her accountable. I'm holding my friends accountable. So it's just like, I'm like, okay, I know what we over here doing as women. And I'm not saying all women do this. I can only speak for me.
Right.
And my friends. I'm like, we over here holding each other accountable, but are men really holding men accountable? And do y'all do? And I guess this question is for Gator since Javon is not here to help him. But do y'all hold each other accountable when your friend is doing some effed up stuff that's causing the friction and causing black women to generalize and be so mad at black men from the stuff that they're doing when it comes to dishonesty and cheating and lies and infidelity and things like that? Do y'all hold each other accountable? Why or why not?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's the thing. Like I do, it is just because I think of things in a different perspective. I think of things as far as like fairness and being honest and being, but there are a lot of black men who I wouldn't even say don't even hold each other accountable. They just don't care. They're just not, they're so distanced from what their friends are doing in their personal life. They just figure, okay, that's whatever they doing. I ain't part of that, whatever. I'll still go shoot ball with them, go out with them or do whatever. I'll even lie for them or whatever, because it ain't me. Those are the ones, and I think Javon mentioned it earlier when he was like, you almost need to have someone on here who ain't crap, because those are the ones who will do things like that and will say those things and lie and cheat and do all those things, and I know for a fact they don't hold themselves accountable. Those circles of men, they're not going to hold themselves or their friends accountable. I will. I've done it before. I've called out friends of mine for things that they've done that were unsavory or cheating or lying, doing all that kind of thing. And then you also have to think of it like this: when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, and any of the men, and I know John Singletary is out there right now, Derek's out there, all the guys from Real Shop Talk, I guarantee you they don't surround themselves with men like that. You're right, Right. So because we grew up, we got away from those of that childishness. So we're not going to do those things. We don't even surround ourselves with it. We just take it and remove it from our lives. There are men who don't do that. There are men who will sit there and tolerate it, and those are the ones who really need to hear this message. You know, me and Tony Watts, you know, John Singletary, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna hold our friends accountable. We're gonna, you know, do that. It's these other Negroes out on the corner that really need to hear this message, and those are the ones that are the big issue. So I hate to say it like that. I apologize to women for that, but I will say all men ain't men.
Right. And I love that what you said. And I think that mindset of those men is that loyalty is more important than accountability. But what are you being loyal to?
Right.
You know, if you don't have a set of moral standards that you live by, and that's your moral code, and you don't surround yourself with people who have that same moral code, and when they do something that's outside of that code, and you turn a blind eye to it, or you're complicit to it, you're actually in agreement with it regardless. And you might make a certain attempts to hold them accountable. Then after that, you're like, they're going to do what they're going to do. You know, I'm just not, at least it's not me doing it. But if you know they're doing it and you continue to keep them in your life and be a presence in their life, in their mind, they feel like you're in agreement with it. You're okay with it. Just because you're not saying anything about it, sometimes you have to bless people with your absence. Okay, I told you I didn't like this. I told you I don't believe in that. But if that's what you're going to continue to do in your life, then you and we cannot be connected anymore. I cannot be your friend because I just don't believe in that. And if I stay your friend and watch you doing it, I'm in agreement with it.
Exactly.
So oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
And to be honest, I told Nadine about this the other day. I was like, you know what? I've lost a lot of friends. I have. You know, I mean, I have distanced myself from a lot of people because I saw what they were doing. They didn't want to change what they were doing. I even counseled them about it. They didn't. That's just what they are. So guess what? I can't be around that. I'm not going to let myself continue to be complacent and let you be in my presence. Therefore, in conclusion, I'm going to remove myself from your presence. You go out there and play in Sodom and Gomorrah all you want to. I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to try to find some righteous people to kind of hang around with. And when I say righteous, I mean some people who actually mean well by people and who actually got some sense. You know, and I think that's a lot of women wonder why men don't counsel all these bad men. It's because we don't mess with them anyway. We over here in our congregation with the good men. It's these other dudes that's out there on the street. We don't mess with them. That's why they're not getting counseled. That's why the wife beaters and the liars and the cheaters aren't getting counseled, because the good men are sitting over here with all the other good men. And we are in Congress with ourselves. We let the trash stay over there with the trash because we don't want to stink.
Yeah, it's just, you know, positivity and having a moral code is not as popular as just living free, doing what you want to do, saying what you want to say, treating people how you want to treat them. We just have to keep pushing the message. We have to keep pushing the message. We can't, you know, cower down and lower our voices when we know we're speaking the right thing to do.
Right. And I like what John said too in here when he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, but we can't leave them all behind. What about before we evolved? Someone looked out for us and was patient until we came around. And that is very true. Yes. You know, because I wasn't always the best person in the world. I always had a conscience. But I did some craziness back in the day, you know. So there was, you know, I will say that the people that were around for me and kind of were patient enough to kind of be there was like literally my dad. You know what I'm saying? And that's about it. You know, I mean, all my friends were still out there doing hood rat teams.
Right.
And I, you know, came to, they thought I was crazy. They're like, man, say, bro, you tripping. But I had a different path that I wanted to go on. So, I mean,
Right.
I get what John is saying. We want to reach back and we want, you know, to speak to those brothers. And we could keep on nailing it to them, and we can keep on nailing it to them. And that's fine. You know, I think that's cool. But some of us, unfortunately, we don't even got the patience for it. We literally will be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Oh, you know what? I'm not even gonna condone that, because if I'm with a woman and she see I'm hanging with this person that is, you know, unsavory and doing all these unsavory things, she might think I'm out there doing it too. Stay away from evil and the appearance of all evil. You know what, bro? I gotta holler at you later. I'm gonna be over here with the other guys. So yeah, I get what John is saying, but I mean, but that's just the truth. A lot of good men are just gonna congregate with the good men. I feel like we probably do need to reach back out more. The only question with that is, how do you do that for people outside of your relatives? And maybe that's where we start. Maybe we, you know, we got a little cousin that's having issues, and we see that pattern starting to you know, kind of form up with them. Maybe start taking, you know, mentoring, you know, some people of how to deal with women. You know, maybe as men, that's something that we can start doing.
Right. I do believe in the mentoring, and this is something that I had to learn in life, in personal life, business, everything. You can only, when you're a person who has a heart for people and you want to help, you want to help everybody, even the people who don't necessarily want your help. So I had to learn that you can't help the people who need it. You have to help the people who want it.
Yeah.
Right.
When you see somebody who has a desire to change, when you see somebody who's going down the wrong path, but you know they have a heart and they want to do better, you don't give up on those people.
Right.
But sometimes when we try to force ourselves and force our help and force our opinions on people who are just not receptive to it, you cannot expend your energy in that area on that person until they come around and they say, you know, I don't like what I've been doing. I don't like how I've been living, and I want to do something different. I just don't know where to start. And that's when you open up your arms to them.
Exactly. Sometimes that is being too late. Sometimes that's when they in their 40s.
Well, I don't think there's ever too late. It's never too late. It's never too late until you take that last breath.
Yeah, it's never too late. But I mean, a lot of them wait till it's like really, really late in the game to decide they want to get themselves together. You start thinking about how many people have you hurt along the line, you know, doing these things.
That's between them and God.
Right.
That's between them and God, because God will never turn us away. Doesn't matter if we come to him on the day before we pass away, he's still going to forgive us.
He's going to hear a repentant heart.
Exactly.
That's for sure. If you have a repentant heart, he's going to hear a repentant heart. But I wanted to say that maybe that's one of the things that the Black community needs to implement is empathy and compassion towards one another. Like, we're so aggressive and so hard and so hateful towards each other. And I'm not even talking about personally, I'm just talking about our community in general. Like, what happened to empathy and compassion? And we all were raised so different. Some people wasn't raised by any parents. They was raised by grandparents or great grandparents. Like, everybody's history is so different. And so I was raised in a 2-parent home, and my grandfather, I had a bonus father. And so, but I still have compassion and empathy for people who say, you know, I didn't have a father to teach me. Oh, I didn't know this because I didn't have a man to show me. Or I didn't have this, or I didn't have that, and different things like that. And like, I have kids, and with my daughters, like, their father was in and out of their life. We was married, we divorced, and then that's when everything got shaky, and then he was in and out at that point. So I had to bring other people into their lives, like my father, my brother, my uncles, my cousins. But everybody do not have even that. And when I see little kids, especially boys, when I see little boys being raised by their grandparents, like how your grandparents are older, they don't have the same patience and detailed guidance to guide that child and be paying attention to what they're doing and try to stir them. And then we try to take them to church and we think, oh, the pastor gonna get them right, and as long as they go to church, this and that. But it's so much deeper than that. So when I see, like, a man is not listening, or a woman is not listening to coaching or guidance, there's a reason why that person is not listening to that, and it does go back to the root issue of why they're not. And so I'm not saying that we can save everybody, but I'm saying that a little empathy and compassion for our community will probably go a long way. Ooh, especially with everything else that we have to deal with outside of our own community. So like, we already have our own community issues, and then we got all this outside stuff going on outside our community that we have to deal with as well. Right. A little empathy and compassion, I wish the Black community would really take on and have for one another, and just understand, like, I may not understand why a person does X, Y, and Z because I've never done it, or I don't do it, or I don't condone it. But I'm not going to be sitting up there acting like, it couldn't have been me. It could have been me. It just wasn't. It could have been me, though, but it wasn't. And so it's like, okay, I don't know how this person was raised. I don't know, what they were taught, or what they even saw from their parents or their grandparents, or what they experienced that made them be that way. However, we do need to have compassion and empathy towards our people. And then maybe we can start, then that may open up the ear of that other person to try to understand and relate to, what's going on in their lives, so that we can start closing that bridge, that gap in that bridge, and bring that bridge closer to one another. But I don't think we can do it without that.
Exactly. We have to stay as a unit, because even as a kid, we used to have this code in our family that when we had issues with each other, we would handle it with each other, and we wouldn't allow somebody to come from the outside and come in and attack one of ours, even if me and you is at odds with each other. When somebody else come and try to attack you, I'm on your side. Right. We are going to stand together. You're not going to mess with my cousin, even though me and her just got through fighting. Right. You ain't finna hear them. That's how Black men and women have to be. It's like, whatever issues we have with each other, we need to handle them in-house with each other. But when we get on these social media platforms and we talk about Black women ain't this and Black women ain't that, and that's why I date outside of my race, because I'm sick of Black men, and I'm sick of Black women because they don't support you. They got a bunch of drama. And then you got Black women on there talking about, I'm sick of Black men because they don't take care of their kids, and I'm dating outside of my race. What are you doing? We already a weak unit, and then you're opening us up for more attack when we should be handling this with each other and not bringing outside influences into it.
I agree.
Right. I agree. I completely agree. And that's the thing. I think the empathy is definitely missing. We need to work on that too. The other thing too, though, is I think Javon was making this point earlier. There's a thin line also, and I think this is why we all need to really practice our own discernment. There's a thin line between being empathetic and literally letting someone do, because you can understand where someone is coming from, you can understand what's happened in their life, but sometimes we excuse those things. We excuse their behavior based on what they've been through. And while we want to be empathetic to people and help them, sometimes we gotta be stern with them and give them that tough love and be like, look, you need to get it together. One thing I hate seeing Black women that will be so nurturing to Black men that really don't know or don't care to reciprocate those emotions and those things like that. And I've known many Black women to be like, well, he had a rough life, he did, and they want to extend that empathy and they want to extend that grace. The problem is you have to know when to cut that off as well, because some people take advantage of those things. you know, but they're not going to get their healing until it gets cut off, because as long as their actions continue to be validated, they're going to keep doing it. You know,
Right.
Again, like when we counseling these other guys, if all of us, all the good men start saying, hey, look, you cut off, bro, you cut off, it starts getting lonely after a little bit. Hey, what am I doing wrong? You know, let's work on this. So yeah, I will say that. But yeah, I think empathy is really, really important though. We just got to make sure that we are using our discernment and kicking fools to the curb when we got to.
Yes, I love it. This has been an awesome conversation. We missed Javon on the last part.
Yeah.
He got to do better next time. He got to be in one spot so we can have this conversation. You know, he all over the place.
He be running, man. He be
running. He's a superstar, something like a superstar. Yeah. But I'm so appreciative and so happy that y'all came, Nakisa. It's always a pleasure. We definitely gonna have y'all back again soon. Yes. It's not gonna be a long gap in between like it was last time. Y'all definitely gonna be back really soon. This was an awesome conversation. Always a pleasure to hear y'all's perspective. And let everybody know where they can connect with you, follow you, and everything that you are doing right now.
Great. Thank you so much for inviting us again on y'all's show. We always have a good time when we come on the show. And even though Javon wasn't able to be on the entire show, he did say enough of his perspective on the topic. So we just want to appreciate you guys. And we love what you all are doing over here. Dope discussions. You can find the Relationship Hotspot podcast on Facebook and Instagram at the Relationship Hotspot. At the Relationship Hotspot. At Relationship Hotspot on Instagram. The Relationship Hotspot podcast on Facebook. And then my handle is at Nakisa Green, and my co-host handle is at Javon Show, at the Javon Show, because he's a celebrity, like Erica said.
Yes. Right. At one time, he was just going by his first name. I was like, "Do you have a last name, sir?"
Right. He was Javon.
Yes. Well, thank everybody in the comments. Thank everybody who tuned in and joined in the conversation. We appreciate y'all so much. And y'all join us back here again next Sunday for another dope discussion.
Yep. Peace out.
All right. Let's close it out.